Installation of Detect tape is quick and easy. First, unroll enough tape to completely wrap the circumference of the fitting, leaving enough to slightly overlap, then cut the tape. Remove the liner from the tape. Press the tape against the connector and begin the wrap, stretching it slightly as you apply. There should be at least a ½ inch of overlap. Finish by pressing the end back into the tape so it will adhere to itself. Larger fittings may require additional wraps. When wrapping larger fittings, overlap the edges of the tape for more coverage. The best practice is to have most of the wrap only one layer thick, so if a leak does occur, the tape will saturate more quickly. A positive leak is indicated by a color change from gray to black.
Welcome to the group exhibit Hydrogen Fuel Cells Batteries at the Hanover Fair 2017. Please have a seat, help yourself with some coffee, drinks. My name is Muriel Burkas, and I would like to welcome today's presenter, William Hoagland from Element One. He's the president of the company, and he will talk today about Detect tape, hydrogen, colorimetric leak detectors for hydrogen equipment. I'm very much looking forward to your presentation and hand over to you.
My name is Bill Hoagland. I'm with a company called Element One, and we've developed what we call a chemochromic pigment, which will change color in the presence of very low concentrations of hydrogen. We've developed it for a number of gases. However, we're concentrating in this presentation on hydrogen because of its current interest. Okay. I'm going to introduce to you a product called Detect tape. This is for hydrogen. It's called Detect tape H2. And as I said, it's a color-changing, self-fusing silicone tape. We introduced this commercially with our industrial partner, MSP, from Connecticut in the USA. And we have developed the pigment, and MSP has developed the self-fusing silicone tape for this application. Excuse me. I don't know where to point this. Okay. I'm sure a lot of you already know this, but hydrogen interest has been peaked in the last 10 years because of the advent of fuel cells, fuel cell cars, and which means that hydrogen will be much closer to a consumer environment than it has been in the past, where it was simply used in industry. So we're going to introduce to you today Detect tape, and a way that it can improve the safety by detecting hydrogen leaks well before it's a safety issue. As you probably know, the reason hydrogen is of interest is it has certain characteristics. It's very, very easily ignited. It's odorless, colorless. It has a high propensity to leak in applications. When it ignites, the flame is invisible, and it's got a high energy content. And the last one, which maybe is an advantage, is that leaked hydrogen diffuses very, very rapidly when it's leaked. That's good for safety, makes it very hard to detect because the high diffusivity, unless you're very close to a point of a leak, you may never see it. These are the current leak detection schemes. They all have advantages and disadvantages, and we think we fill a pretty nice niche in this market. So an ideal leak detector would be low cost, something that most detectors don't do, give a positive indication of both the presence and absence of hydrogen. So when you have an active sensor and you're not seeing anything, there are actually two things that could be going on. One is you don't have a leak. Two is your sensor is not working. Since R is a chemical reaction, it gives a positive indication of both a safe environment and an unsafe environment. A good leak detector for hydrogen should be specific to hydrogen and sensitive to it. should not give any false indications, and it should be durable and have a long useful life and be a low maintenance item. Okay. Detect tape has been featured. It came out in 2016. We've had a number of good press. There are a number of very large companies who have taken it and conducted their own tests. And every one of the tests, we have large oil and gas company, car company, a number, and all the tests have been successful, and they're incorporating them into their operation right now. The basis for our product is we have a color-changing pigment for hydrogen that is very, very sensitive and very, very fast. We first incorporated that into a paint, which reacted very well, but it was not very durable in an outdoor environment. It was sensitive to ultraviolet light, sunlight. So we were trying to find a means of carrying this pigment into an application, and we tested a number of silicones, and we partnered with MSP with a self-fusing silicone tape. I'll talk about some of the results of that. The other half of the equation of the pigment is the self-fusing silicone. It does a couple of things very nicely. It makes it easier to apply the pigment, and the silicone protects it for as long as a year or more in an outdoor environment. This is a picture of the color change on Deteccion. The applications we're looking at is gas refineries, hydrogen fueling stations and cars, storage facilities, and research laboratories. And there are a number of applications that we think we work very well with. So I'll talk a little bit about the performance and specifications of the tape. This is a picture of the packaging. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble with this. Points here, and I'll go through very quickly. This is the pigment response, and you can see how quickly, in a matter of seconds, the pigment changes color. However, the pigment is very sensitive to poisoning in air, and we needed to find the silicone. Here is a picture of the response of Detect tape, and you see we're measuring the transmittance of light through it, which is an indicator of the color, and you see that it goes from like 100% down to about 50 or 60%, but the actual color change is what you see here. So the hydrogen reaction is a function of the rate of leak, the amount of hydrogen actually going into the tape, and the concentration. It's a cumulative effect. It's a non-reversible reaction, so we'll detect very small leaks. It just takes a little longer. Is my point? Maybe that's it. This just shows we can detect long leaks, very slow leaks. Any leak coming out of a joint, only a very small portion of it permeates the silicone tape, and the rest will leak out around it. So it can get to be a very, very low leak rate. The amount of hydrogen that bypasses the tape goes down, but it still changes color. I won't go through this. This is the application on a flange test with a 2-inch version of Detect tape that we now have. And you see it works very well. Here it is with a 1-inch. And what we did is also we put in another color so that you'll have a little bit easier time finding a joint, a gray tape on steel pipe. And also here you see the unexposed tape in an area just for reference. The response is proportional to temperature. It responds more quickly at higher temperatures. It responds more quickly to the hydrogen concentration that it leaks. Most of our hydrogen piping we've been dealing with is 100% hydrogen, so it reacts very quickly, builds up a concentration underneath. We've done a number of exposure tests within our company. It'll go through a number of different temperatures, sun and water and high pHs without any effect. The National Renewable Energy Laboratory, a DOE lab, did a long-term test of Detect tape and came out with very good results. The duration of the test was 8 months long. 55 applications were put in an outdoor facility, and a number of verified leaks were indicated that they had not known about before. Some were marginal, and they could manage those and just keep an eye on the leak. This is some of the results. It was first put into a laboratory and achieved the same successful results that we found. They also deployed it outdoors. You see the change in color. Some of them aren't quite so dark as this, and they watched that. Some of the leaks actually took a month and a half to darken, and those they figured were not significantly. The tape can be changed very easily. It does not adhere to anything but itself. So with a knife or a pair of scissors, it can be removed and put back on. The reason we went with a non-reversible pigment is we felt that if a leak was indicated, you'd have to take the tape off to repair the joint anyway. I'm just going to go over some of the information about it, but this is a result of the NREL report. They determined that it is shown reliably identifies unintended releases, and the technology is proven. It's made in the United States by MSP in Berlin, Connecticut. It's got all the documentation. Our booth is right behind you. I won't spend much time on these, but it's intended to be put on and left on and checked routinely. We have tape that's been deployed now for almost 2 years, and it still is as good as new. What I just said, okay. It's perforated, so it's easy to tear off and put a piece around depending on the size you need. It's economical. We feel that routine use for only a couple of dollars per fitting and test, you can use Detect tape. About the perforations. I'm going the wrong way, sorry. So it's, as I said, easy to use, doesn't require any training. It's very, very sensitive. I think we'll stop there. It's available. The booth, MSP has a booth right behind you, 33-1. We have a lot more information there for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A warm applause. Thank you very much. Are there any questions right now? Yes?
As operator of a chemical plant, I would ask for an alarm in a control room of such a case. Is it only manual operation to have an indication of a leakage, or you have a possibility to detect it
yes,
in a control?
Thank you. We've been developing a thin film which changes color, which also the film will change conductivity by 3 orders of magnitude. And we're building that product now and incorporating it into a wireless sensor. But, you know, this has a place as well, because we worked with Air Products, and they liked the fact that a safety operator didn't have to get close enough to a joint to sniff for a leak. He could stand back and not climb over piping. And and that was safe for him.
Further questions? Thank you very much. If not at the moment, I would like, as he already said, the booth is right behind the 43. Get there if you have further questions later. Thank you one more time for your presentation.